But ultimately, at the end of the day, for you to be part of it would be to not collaborate to the 2 million billion like, number we have out there every year made of like t-shirts. It just, take your parents' clothes, hand down clothes. Like I would say 50%. And it's ironic because I work in an industry where it's all new clothing. So I would say 50% of my closet, if the clothes are not handed to me from working in the industry, I'm gonna wear repurposed clothing. I mean, I've been around for a really long time. I've really just touched every aspect of the industry. I've like from working in stores to managing to I've done it all. And I think what I'm doing now is actually the most important facet of the industry, or for me, the satisfying of what I've ever done. I'm working for a high-end luxury line. I've worked for a few different ones, but this one, more than anybody, is extremely focused, and our mission is really being sustainable, trying to make a change within the high-end world. And we're very, very centered about it. And my position in it is, it's a bit of a new name for it. I don't think that there's many people that do what I do. I'm a product knowledge specialist. So what I do is I actually work with the design team, and I get all the information about what the latest developments are in the sustainable environment in the fashion industry. And then I go and try to talk about it to our accounts that buy our brand. It's just, I go in there and I talk about the collection, and I try to, convey the beautiful aspects of benefits of being sustainable versus just being like, this is a pair of jeans and this is really cool. Like, we try to do it because people don't care.
Okay, so that sort of covered the first question, which is what kinds of companies have you worked on and what were you doing in them? So that helped. So
Yeah.
now on to our second question. What are the benefits of what we like to call circular economy in the fashion industry?
Okay. Do we have like a week? No, we have like a little bit of time. Okay. So, oh my God, an industry-wide circular business model is a really lofty ambition just to get it started and out of the way. So the way in which the value is created in circular systems is radically different than the way it is created in the linear. In essence, a single garment can create value repeatedly. So basically and this is where it kind of gets important, because through sale and resale, repeated rental, being sold, repaired, returned, and refurbished, and also recycled. So we call it the 6 Rs in the industry. And that's not only for, I imagine, many, many different industries. It's especially centered in the fashion industry and where we're trying to go. The advantages of I would say, of circular fashion economy is you would have reduced dependency on imported raw materials. There's creation of eco-friendly industries and jobs. So that's amazing, because a lot of people are freaking out that, oh, well, the minute that we're going to start being, sustainable, there's not going to be any jobs anymore, because part of being sustainable is not producing as much anymore. But it is going to create jobs, and people are really not paying attention to it. Eco-friendly brands benefit from a better public image. There's reduction in environmental damage, obviously, that's caused by resource extraction of our planet. And there was the resource cost, for sure. And there's optimizing for manufacturing processes that are good. And finally, at the end, it just basically reduces further negative impact on our planet. And that's really what the end goal is we're doing it for the planet. We're not, or else we wouldn't be changing any of it.
Our next question is, how do we style ourselves responsibly and consciously for the environment?
It's so hard. To answer your question, you would have to really try to commit to, buying clothes that actually are timeless. You'd have to invest a bit more, because there is mathematics to how to buy clothes that last longer. So you'd have to understand how to buy clothes that would last longer if you do want to buy something new. You would have to do a bit more research on seeing what companies are really sustainable and do not greenwash. And when I talk about greenwash, it's like the companies say that they're sustainable, but the manufacturing they use is not. But ultimately, at the end of the day, for you to be part of it would be to not collaborate to the 2 million billion like, you know, number we have out there every year made of like t-shirts. It just, you know, take your parents' clothes, hand down clothes. Like I would say 50%. And it's ironic because I work in an industry where it's all new clothing. So I would say 50% of my closet, if the clothes are not handed to me from working in the industry, I'm gonna wear repurposed clothing. I'm not gonna, even when I got married, I had 2 wedding dresses and they were both hand-me-downs. I didn't even want to buy a ridiculous, like crazy dress for $10,000. It just didn't, it has to start with you really committing to it and meaning it.
So if you were to build up your own brand, absolutely, with all the experience that you've gained over the years that you've worked in the business,
Wow.
how would you go about it so that it was the absolute most sustainable you could possibly make it?
Oh my God. Okay. So the first thing, I would have an insane mission statement. And I would have to stick to my mission statement. That's what really drives you apart from all the other brands. And that's, your mission statement is really the one that's like the most, you know, the closest to your heart. And I feel sustainability is actually something that has no ego to it. It's for the greater good. So sustainable, the first thing I'd have to make sure is, you know, sustainable and ethical are 2 different things. And a lot of people get them mixed up. Many people put sustainable and ethical in the same category, although they're often seen together. But sustainable refers to brand impact on the environment, and ethical really relates to health and well-being and people and animals involved in the whole process of it. And it's really important to define what sustainable is. So that would be part of my mission. So I would make sure that my brand identity and my philosophy are really, really, you know, cemented into that. I would, in general, anybody I deal with within my company, I would sit down and have a conversation with them, because people that are really passionate about sustainability will tell you right away. So sustainable refers to the whole business and not just the clothes. So what I would do is, because I have this amazing mission where I'm like, oh, I'm going to be sustainable and that, I would basically just, you know, go all the way and actually create an eco-friendly brand that involves looking at the business as a whole. Like, you cannot do things without anybody kind of looking into it. That's a thing of the past. And this is a problem that our parents had a lot. They could say, you know, I'm doing this and this, but it was very hypocritical generation. So that's another thing. And I think that's really, really important, is basically, you know, making sure that from the way I light my office, to the way I send and receive goods and material and processes, to how, you know, production happens, you know, because consumers are going to expect brands to be sustainable. If I'm going to say them, you know, they're going to expect me to be sustainable in every single way. So not just my clothing, but the way, you know, we ship the products, the way we wrap them, you know, and you don't want to disappoint the customers that are buying, because they do believe in it and they do actually want to make a change.
So, what do you think would happen if people just stopped making clothes for a whole year?
There's enough clothes to go around without, if people stop making clothes for a year, no one would notice for at least, and this is a fact, no one would notice for the clothing that we still have on this planet. It would, for us to run out of clothes, it would have to be 25 years. But then you have to keep in consideration the fashion, like, you know, newness and like trends. But the truth is, we create trends, and everything by cycle comes back every 9 to 12 years. It's like a known fact. Like, you know, the 90s grunge is like really, like, we see hints of it right now. It's super cool, but that comes with music and everything. So I think no one would even notice if nobody created. You know what we would do? We would save our planet just one step at a time. It would be a small move, but it would be an enormous move.
Well, I think on behalf of both of us, the Green Team newsletter, the Green Team in general, we'd like to thank you for helping us open up our little mini series.
Oh, it's the opening up of it. Amazing.
Uh-huh.
I could have talked for like another hour about it. Like I have so many facts and stuff, but I didn't. I was like, oh, keep it short, don't talk too much.